Hi, Deepa Rani Shekhar from Transform Life Programs. Love and Light. Friends, I'm going to take you through a story before I tell you what I want to tell you. Have you heard of the Brooklyn Bridge? Yes, that spectacular bridge which spans over the entire river connecting Manhattan Island and the Brooklyn. It was built in it was kind of started, the project was conceived and started by an engineer called John Roebling, and nobody agreed that such a huge bridge across such a span can be built. But Roebling was someone who wouldn't give up easily, or who would never ever give up. So he told the same to his son, young Washington, who was a young and upcoming engineer. He also got inspired by his father's enthusiasm. He got bugged, and bugged in a very nice way, not the negative one. And he started working on the project with his father. Nobody agreed or nobody even believed, but they collected a bunch of their own crew and started building the Brooklyn Bridge. Within few months of the project taking off, in a very tragic accident, a very unfortunate accident, the senior John Roebling was killed, and young Washington was left paralyzed for life. He could not move, he could not talk. So, what do you think happened? Do you think Washington gave up his father's dream, which he had co-conceived with his father? Did you think he just gave up his father's brainchild? He could not talk, he could not move. No, dear friends, though his body had become immobile, he could not move his body. All that he could move was only one finger. But his brain was razor sharp. How many of you believe that the mind is stronger than the body? I believe it. 100%, 200%, I believe the mind is stronger than the body, and it can catapult the body to do things that the body would never ever believe it can do. The mind has that capacity. So Washington, lying on his bed, would tap, only one finger he could move. He would tap on his wife's hands, and she would communicate it to the engineers. For 13 long years, he kept tapping, and she kept communicating with the engineers, and the bridge was finally built. The spectacular Brooklyn Bridge. So what do you understand, friends? Do you think he gave up? No. If he had given up, we wouldn't even have remembered him. We would just have remembered that two engineers started a project and it never took off. Only when things are completed, it gets the glory. But it's never said that you should not start anything at all. When you start is when you will continue. When you continue is when you will complete it. How many of us have this perseverance? We are all moving. We are all talking. All our senses are perfect. But still, how often do we give up halfway through? More often than not. And now, bring this situation to the current situation of 2020. 2020 seems like it started on a wrong note. It's like a cranky child getting up in the middle without having its full course of sleep and being cranky for everything. The child is hungry but won't eat. The child is sleepy but won't sleep. The child wants to play but can't play. Just keeps crying, being cranky and irritable and irritated. Is that what 2020 has become? Issue after issue, problem after problem, fear after fear is what is doing the rounds. So, what do you think? Do you want to give up and say, I can't put up with this? And go with the flow, eat guilt, eat fear, and when you fear, it's going to strike you. Anything for that matter. What you think is what you're going to manifest. In most of my videos, I keep repeating what you focus on expands. So if you're focusing on fear, on giving up, that's what you're going to create in your life. Or not create or uncreate, put it any which ways. Have these two men as an inspiration. One died, but the son carried the dream of his father despite being immobile and unable to talk. Does it put us to shame how many projects we have given up halfway through for not having any valid reason either to continue or to discontinue? We just left it there. Can we pick up all these threads wherever we have left them and bind them together to make a beautiful pattern? Can we stop worrying about all the negative things that's happening and transmute all the fear, all the negative things with our inner strength, with gratitude for being alive today, with heartfelt thanks for having a family, for having a home, for having 3 meals? Can we do that? Can we take the example of perseverance and see that we get through? If you can get through this, you can get through anything in your life. So do you want to take this challenge? Do one thing which you had discontinued quite some time back. I had shelved a book. I started writing a book on parenting as a handbook for parents. It was with great enthusiasm that I began. It's embarrassing to say, but still I'm saying it. It's almost close to a year. And from the past 6 months, I've not worked on it. I did have all the time, but I've not started. There is some reason or the other, procrastination probably. But today, I have decided to start working on this book and complete it at the earliest, probably in a month's time. And a friend of mine, Shruti, she motivated me to start today. Have no excuses for not starting today. The minute I stop this video, I am going to start typing and take my book forward at least by 1 page, at least by a paragraph, at least by 4 sentences. So this is what we mean by picking up the pieces where we had left them and putting it together to complete the jigsaw puzzle that has been pending from many days. So can we do something constructive, creative, progressive than procrastinating, than eating guilt and fear? How many of you will take this challenge of picking up the strings where you left them? I have taken it myself. So how many of you, please give me a thumbs up. Thank you for joining me. Deepa Rani Shekhar from Transform Life Programs. Love and light.